quickly. Let's then get started with today's session. Okay, yes, I can see still a few students, Ankit and the others. Switch on your cameras quickly. Okay, lovely. Great. So firstly, super congratulations to all of you for getting the IIM Indore calls. And let's make sure we put all our hard work and efforts and convert them. Okay, before we hop on to all our seniors and talk about how to convert the IIM Indore calls, I would love to know from all of you quickly on the chat. Everybody keep typing up your percentile. First, all the general candidates, type in your percentile. Let's see at what all calls have you got IIM Indore call. Okay, Rishank 99.96, Sejal 97.08, very good, 99.71, 97.98, 97.78, 99.35. Okay, lovely, that's good, good to see this. Everybody else, the other students, please type in your percentile at which you have got. Okay, I can see 87.5. 94.6, 98.3. Lovely, very good. Good to see all of you guys. Congratulations once again for your IIM Indore shortlist. Now, quickly, first, let's have a quick introduction from our seniors. I can see Chiranjeevi, I can see Abhishek. Shruti, I still can't see you. Could you please switch on your camera as well? Okay, yeah. All right, lovely, great. So let's have a first quick round of an introduction from your seniors. Abhishek, why don't you go ahead first? Give us a quick introduction about you and your journey to IIM Indore.
Thank you, ma'am. It's been a while. Hello, am I audible? Am I audible, guys? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
So, I mean, it kind of feels really nostalgic. I was on that side like a year ago, and now on this side. It's kind of so. I mean, I'll just give my quick introduction. So, my name is Abhishek. I'm an engineer by background. I converted. I'm in the last year. I uh, have like some pretty interesting stories about Amandar, which maybe we'll discuss about later. But yeah, that's a little brief about me.
Okay, lovely. That was quite quick and nice. So great. Chiranjeevi.
Hi everyone. Actually, I am a bit old now, but yeah, I converted. I am Indore in 2021, and I was a student from 2021 to 2023. So essentially, I gave my CAT in the COVID times. That was during 2020. So we have been doing these lovely catch-ups conducted by CATKing for last 3 to 4 years, and it is always great to see a lot of people coming in, and then some of you will get into IIM Indore, and some of you will get into any other business school. But it's good to be part of this group. And about me, I was a civil engineer before joining IIM Indore, and right now I am working as a product manager in one of the startups in Noida. It's RateGain, one of the B2B SaaS startups. Since last 1.5 years, post my campus graduation, and yeah, it's been a good journey. We'll chat more during this call. Thank you.
Lovely. That's really nice. And thank you so much, Chiranjeevi, for being there year on year. Now, I think, you have been a veteran when even IIM Indore calls. I think Abhishek you were there, and also all the other
Yeah,
seniors.
I remember like even when it was my call unit session, Chiranjeevi was there. I
Absolutely.
can recall him there.
Lovely. Interesting. Great. Hi, Shruti. Where are you? Can you also give us a quick introduction about you?
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so much. Hi, guys. I'm Shruti Gupta, and I'm also a 2024-26 batch of IIM Indore, and I come from a journalism background. So if you have that kind of taboo that you only have to belong to the commerce or science group, chill, cool down. I'm coming from journalism background. And yes, I've also heard Chiranjeevi last year when I was on that set of the camera, but right now I'm on this set at the campus, and I'm really awaiting to see you all again on the campus very soon.
Lovely. That's really great. Quickly now, for all the students on the call, on the chat, type in, for how many of you guys IIM Indore is your best call? Just write best call here. Okay, we have Ayush. Oh, so many of you guys. Lovely. So guys, ये अभी best call है. तो put in your hard work and all the efforts. I remember how Abhishek used to prepare. He used to be in office doing the sessions. Unfortunately, there was a lot of excitement and anxiety right till the last day, till he actually onboarded the train and went there. But I want all of you to make sure you put in good hard work and efforts to convert your calls. Okay. So, Abhishek, what do you say for all of these students who have their best call as Indore? It is worth it?
I mean, if it's worth it or not, I mean, I don't know if, like, it's obviously worth it, but like, I don't know how to describe how worth it is. But yeah, as ma'am mentioned, IIM Indore was also my best call, and I mean, it was one hell of a journey, but here I am.
Awesome, lovely. That's really great. So let's make sure that all of us are putting in these efforts for the same. Now, quickly on the chat, I will take down inputs from all your seniors about what and how should they prepare for the IIM Indore interviews. So let's go one by one, and you can share your interview experience so that the students can get a fair idea about how do they make sure they also convert the same. So let's start with you, Chiranjeevi. I'll just keep making notes.
Okay. So I'll talk about the IIM Indore interview specifically, not about any other college calls. So for IIM Indore college, I guess the graduation background remains very important to all of them out there, and so brushing up on the graduation concepts, be it engineering degree or be it any BCom degree, or you have any other degrees, basic concept brush up would be very good. So a lot of interviews from IIM Indore do have the mapping for your profile. So for example, if there would be 2 to 3 panelists, and one of them must be from your background. Maybe they have been an engineer in the past, or they have been a become student, or there must be some alumni who has done the same thing. But the combination always remains the same: one alumni, two teachers, or only two teachers, depending on the city of your interview. And yeah, so first of all, the basic questions. First one was your graduation concept, and the second one can be your PI questions. So mine was uh, from a small town, how do you look forward to being graduating from IIM Indore, and what are the next things that you are looking for, and how a civil engineering degree can add value to like a curriculum like MBA in IIM Indore. And a lot of questions, because I was from a civil engineering background, and our IIM Indore campus is situated on a hilltop. So around
Yeah.
the construction of how different materials are used in civil engineering, and how construction in a hilly area takes place, that was being asked. But it was a nice and smooth interview. There was not a lot of grilling that was being done. Other than like IIM Lucknow interviews or FMS Delhi interviews were very grilling, but at the same time, IIM Indore interviews, the professor that were present in my panel, they were very helpful and easy to understand. Also, they did give me one quick I would say guesstimate like a question, but I was not able to answer it properly. But that was still okay, or that was still fine, because you are at the start of your career.
Okay. That's nice. Interesting. Yes, Abhishek, how about your interview experience?
So what I'll do is I'll divide into like two parts. So there are like some specific suggestions, and then there'll be some general suggestions.
Yeah.
So like if I specifically talk about my IIM Indore interview, so I mean I think the single most important thing that you must prepare is your undergrad subjects, irrespective of you're a fresher, irrespective if you have like work ex, even if you have like 3 4 years, it doesn't matter. You must have a good command over your undergrad. And when I say having a good command over your undergrad, it's not about like, going through 2 or 3 subjects. But there have been cases where people have been asked from like 6, 7 different subjects. So, for example, if you're a mechanical engineer, go through thermodynamics, go through TOM, go through SOM, go through all machine design and all of this stuff. I'm not saying like go into very depths of it, but you have to understand what the fundamentals are, right? So just brush that up. That is, I think, the single most important thing. Except for that, there are a few other things which you should do. Like, for example, memorize graphs. So, you should know what's a graph or a square. If they can ask you to draw it, they asked me to draw a graph. I think it was it was some equation, I don't remember. They asked me to draw the graph of it. It was not very complex, but if you don't know, what the graph of log x is, you don't know what the graph of x square is, you won't be able to do it. And that's again one very vital thing. Um, Except for this, there's going to be current affairs. That's going to be asked. Also, be sure that whosoever your panelist is going to be of your background. So if you're an engineer, there's going to be someone who is like a master of that field on the other side. So do not try to bluff. Don't try to make up things. It's always good to say that you don't know the answer than to kind of make up things and make yourself look bad. That was there. And then if I were to like talk about some general suggestions, I think one of the things which really helped me not only with the IIM Indore interview, but like with all the other interviews. So I converted all the CAP colleges. I converted IIM Mumbai, and I think it was I also converted. I think IIM Rohtak too. And I think one thing which always helped me is that I don't know how to explain it, but I'll just be very blunt. You need to have like a Besharma Wali smile when you enter the interview room. I cannot emphasize enough how much of an edge it can give you. I still remember it was my CAP interview, and it was an online interview. I think it was somewhere in March, and the interview started. It was just one of these calls, and they saw me and they saw me like smiling like something, and they smiled back. Now imagine that's your first interaction with an interview panel, right? What that's probably the best thing that can happen. And then it was just like smooth sailing from there on. Similar thing happened with me at IIM Rohtak. Similar thing happened with me at IIM Indore. So that is one thing I would say. Except for this, I think, to be honest, it's not very complex to crack an interview. I mean, I think if you prepare well. So I'll tell you this from my experience from last time. You won't be able to imagine how many people are there who are just underprepared. Now, when I say underprepared, I mean people who have just, let's say, prepared the introduction. People, let's say, who just prepared what are their strengths and weaknesses. People just say, who have just prepared, let's say, 1 or 2 of their subjects. People who have just basically done like, surface level preparation. These are people who have like not given a lot of time. But if you do a very good level of preparation, which in my definition is like, if let's say you're putting in, let's say, 6, 7 hours every single day from here on to the time of your interview, when you've like prepared in depth of your let's say HR question. So there's something. This is an input. It might help you guys. There's something called as NPAD questions. This is nothing but like general HR questions. So if you'll search for it online, you'll find it over the on the internet that there are like some 20-25 specific questions which you should prepare. So I would suggest that you, let's say, given like a week into just preparing these HR questions. So these are basically behavioral questions. For example, explain a time when you had to face some hardship and so on and so forth. Now, these might seem very trivial and you might have an answer to it, but just know that if you work on them for a period of time, you'll have better answers. And, it's all about like how are you going to, how your storytelling is going to be on that day. And if your answers are like well vetted, which takes time to be, well vetted, but if they are well vetted, it will be like a very big positive for you. So, going through these NPAT questions, preparing a number of your subjects, going everything that you have mentioned, either on your performa or anything that you've submitted, you need to know it to the point. If you've done like that level of preparation, I don't think that you actually require something else. You might not be very good at communicating. You might, I don't know, you might be someone who has a lot of gap. There might be issues that you might have with the profile, but trust me, if you've just like given it enough amount of time, you'll be through it. That's it from my side.
Okay, lovely. That's really interesting. Now, coming to you, Shruti, how was your interview experience at IIM Indore like?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for letting me share my giving me this opportunity to share my experience first of all. So I very much agree to what Abhishek said right now. It has been kind of same with me too. So I would like to recommend all of you to please be very versed with your background, with your educational backgrounds, with your locality, regional locality where you're coming from, etc. Because the first question that I was asked when I entered the interview room was about my locality. So I belong to Bandel, a small town from Kolkata, and the professors are really very versed with your background, where you're coming from, where you have lived through. So you have to be very much well prepared with GK. And with GK, I don't only mean current affairs. It's about history, it's about civics, it's about geography, everything that comes under your vicinity, basically. So I was also asked questions like, what is the difference between Bandel Church and St. Paul's Cathedral in Kolkata? So these are some very basic questions that come from your regionality. So please be versed with all these such questions. And also after this, I will be coming to the educational part. So what questions I was asked were basically around more of mathematics, because I'm not an engineer and I don't come from a technical or science background. I'm coming from a journalism background. So they tested me upon basic mathematics, like graphs, equations, all these, and few of the formulas. So it's suggested that you verse with your mathematics and basic mathematics like 10 and 12 maths, pure maths. That's it. So that will be easy for you if you go through it. It's not like they want an answer from you, and they'll really help you out as well. So panelists might be, they're not really cruel. They might be harsh on you, but they're not cruel enough to like ruin you left, right, and center. So they might, it's not necessary that you give them a right answer. It's about trying. It's about that, let them know that you're trying and you'll be versed with it. So I was also suggested by one of my panelists during the interview that you'll be having time after this. You can revise your basic mathematics once after this interview is done, before you join the campus or any of the campuses for the sake. So this is one thing. And upon the HR questions, so I'm in the really focuses upon your academics 10, 12, and graduation. So please be versed with it, first recommendation. And secondly, the HR questions and NPAT questions, as Abhishek said, you'll get a lot of questions. Even you'll get it in the repository of CATKing as well. All those proper hygiene questions, tell me about yourself, which would be very, very versed. So I will prefer you keep a storytelling sequence in your answers. That will really be helpful for you to drive the interview in the direction that you want it to go. So you will, it's not that the professors won't ask you and just go as per you want the interview to let go. They will be adamant upon something like a cats, as I said, for Indore specifically. Other campuses that I have interviewed for, they were quite flexible with the questions they had, but in Indore I saw they were very much bent upon academics. And I was the first one person to go in the panel for the slot I was given to. So I also asked some of my mates who were after me or later, they had the same response. So I'll tell you, be versed with your academics and be really apparent with your GK. And with GK, not only current affairs, but everything that comes under your vicinity. And about HR questions, you'll get on the CATKing portal. So just go through it and frame your own answers, frame your own story, because storytelling really works a lot while you're interviewing. You need not revise something. It should not sound like just you have mugged up something and you're vomiting over here. It should be your own story. Your creativity should come out so that you can drive the interview. Suppose if I'm telling something about my leadership qualities, so what I do, I tell them, and I tell something and I leave it at such a juncture that they are excited to know more about it. It's not that they're getting bored, but I'll leave it at one point that, yeah, I have also worked upon a brand of my own, and this is the brand that I was working upon, and I have just launched it. So they're more curious now, and they'll question you for like 10 minutes more. You'll go on upon the same thing. Okay, tell me about more about your brand. Tell me, how did you launch it? Tell me what happened to it. So you can engage them for like 10 more minutes if you leave the answers at such juncture, which makes them more curious about knowing about you. So upon HR questions, really work upon your own storytelling instead of copying from somewhere. That will really be helpful, so that you'll not have to remember it, but you know what you have gone and done through your life. That will really be helpful. Yeah. So these two recommendations are must for Indore. That is your ACADS, and your own storytelling will really help you out throughout the interviews, throughout all interviews, basically.
Lovely. That's really nice. That's really good. Thank you so much, Shruti, on sharing those things. And quickly now for the rest of the students, I will do is we will have more intricacies of IIM Indore being discussed only for the call getters here and for the YouTube family. I hope this interview experiences from all our seniors were helpful for all of you. And we shall see you guys in the next online sessions upcoming soon. So for I think the other details, we will keep it just for our students. So just give me a quick second. Let me tell bye to the YouTube family.